And you're on.
All right, it's 2 o'clock. Back here at 48 Carrington, we are live sharing what I know about food with you. I hope we get a lot of people today because it's a pretty crappy day, so everybody must be inside looking for something to do. Today I'm going to show you how to break a chicken down, a whole chicken down. It's got a specific scientific method for that. I'm going to use the legs and thighs to make a quick crock pot recipe for tonight that we can eat later on tonight. And then I'm going to show you our original Rainbow Gardens Caesar salad dressing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because while I was researching that, I found some interesting things on that as well. So let's get right into it. This is a chicken, basic store-bought chicken. All I did was take it out of the plastic. Now, you could go from here and just roast this chicken, but I'm going to show you how to cut it into all the parts that it has. One thing you have to remember to do is take this package of deliciousness out of your chicken or out of your turkey if you have a turkey as well. Now, this is basically their way of getting you to pay premium dollar for these products that are inside. And this is the liver, and there's sometimes more than one extra livers thrown in there, especially when you get turkeys. Oh my God, I've never seen this in my whole life. This is not only the neck, but the head of this chicken. And I'm talking 35 years. 35 years, people, of processing chickens, and I've never seen this. Now, normally I would put this neck into my stomach. Can't do that today. I can't. I raise chickens. I can't. I've never in my life seen that. So this is something new. We're going to give us the whole head. I don't know. This is just going to force me to be more of a vegetarian. But anyway, this is the heart and the gizzard. Those can definitely go into the stock pot. And if you're making turkey gravy, gizzard gravy. I can't even. This has to go in the trash. I can't even look at that anymore. All right. Well, the next thing, if you were going to roast this, that you would do is bend these arms back behind your chicken. And yes, there will be hand washing today because I am manhandling this naked bird. So you bend these arms back behind your chicken or your turkey. This is a tip for Thanksgiving too. And what it does is it's going to push the breast up and create like a little baking rack underneath. It's going to lift the back up off the bottom of the pan by pressing those two arms behind there. So here's a look at what it looks like back there. Those are just the little wingtips of the bird, and I've created like a little baking rack. It works really great with turkey. It just pushes the breast right up there. So then the next thing you would do would be to either put butter or oil underneath the skin or on it, and then season it. And so you want to season the cavity inside as well. The next thing, if I were going to just roast this in the oven, is I take this extra fat off of here because I don't know, you just don't need it. But we are not going to roast this today. We are going to show you how to break it down. Oh, wait, I want to talk about this thing too. This little plastic thing that they put in here to tell you when your turkey or your bird is done, this is trash. Don't rely on this. Go back to the thermometer that I've been talking about all week because that's unreliable. I've seen that pop before the bird's done, and I've seen that pop after the bird is like beyond done. So the first thing that you do to break down a chicken is you have to sit it up on its back, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be slicing through this backbone. You can see here's the neck. We're going to cut right through the backbone down to this tailbone to get this chicken into to be able to get it into all its parts. To do this first part, I use a not so great knife because this can really wreak havoc on your cutlery. So I'd use a knife that's not my favorite, not my most sharp one. And then for the rest of this, you'll see I'm going to use a sharp knife. So this guy goes up on the cutting board, and you're just going to cut right through the ribs. I'm not going to talk so you can hear that. Okay, and now you have to go down on this side as well. I am removing this neck bone, backbone. You can also do this with poultry scissors, but what's the point? Okay, you gotta be pretty aggressive with it. So I've removed this backbone. Now this has a lot of flavor and good stuff to use in stock, so I'm gonna make sure that I keep that in there. So now I have this chicken, and you can see the inside of it. What I'm gonna do next is force the breastbone to break by just pressing on the two breasts and pushing the chicken out. So you could see right here, the breastbone, the one down the middle here, broke on this side over here. So the next thing I'm going to do is run my knife inside there and release that from the other half of the chicken and just cut right straight through. All right, now I have 2 halves of chicken, okay? Perfectly acceptable right now. You could just roast 2 halves of chicken. You could grill 2 halves of chicken, whatever you want. But we're going to go further than that. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come in here and cut the leg and the drumstick and the thigh. So you make a little cut underneath the breast, and it just has this gap. You could feel it with your fingers. You could see it inside there, and you come out to the bone on this side of the chicken. Okay, and that just popped right out. So cut the skin down a little bit. Now I have what's called a quartered chicken. Okay, so this is the breast and arm, and this is the thigh and the drumstick. We're going to get to that in a minute, but let me do it one more time over here. So you could feel this pocket, like I could feel it, and then so I could just take the skin first, and it naturally comes apart right there. But when I get down to this area, I have to cut around, so I have the thigh and the leg. All right, here's my chicken breasts, here's my 2 thighs, and my 2.
Right, so you're not cutting through any bones or
Not
anything.
yet. Here comes the bone part, all right? And I'm going to pull this skin back so you can see this part. I wouldn't normally do this. I'm doing this so you can see it. All right, so this is where the drumstick is connected to the thigh. Now, the leg bone goes this way and the thigh bone goes that way. But see this white piece right here? This is like a natural line that's going to tell you how to get through that piece of cartilage where the bone is. So that was an easy cut. The line told me where it was, and it was right where the cartilage is. I think that line is a little bit of fat that's around like the joint, and that was no issue whatsoever to get that off there. I'm just gonna go ahead and trim that off a little bit because I don't think I need that. So here I have a thigh, and here I have a drumstick. I don't want all the skin on our chicken. Okay, I'm gonna use this in something tonight, so I'm not going to demonstrate. All right, I'll do it. This is called lollipopping the chicken. You go up to the end of the leg joint and you cut all the way down to the bone, and then you strip the chicken down. With the knife. And it just removes it from this leg bone, and then you go and cook this, and it's called lollipopping the chicken. Why? I don't know. Yes, when it cooks, it looks like a lollipop, but you're separating these tendons from the hook up here, and then you push all the meat down to there. You can see why I'm going to be washing my hands today. I'll pull this back again so you can see one more time this line right here, this white line. That's what I'm going to cut along to separate the drumstick from the thigh. Okay, and so it should go through like butter. If it's not going through like butter, you've gone too far this way, and you're hitting this bone here. It should go right through that soft part of the cartilage. And I'm just going to remove that a little bit. I'm going to remove this extra skin because we just need all that. Okay, the next thing I want to do is remove the arm, the wing from here. And it's the same idea. It's a little harder to get the skin back, but there's a place where you can cut very easily. Find it. Through. There it is. Here, this is the arm bone and the breast. Okay, so this is a wing. If you were going to go make Chinese wings, you would leave it whole like this. If you're going to make American chicken wings, you cut this wing tip off, and then you split these two. So this is like when you're eating the wings, and I pop that joint to get in there. When you're eating the wings at your favorite wing place, this is the one with the 2 bones in it, and this is the one that is just a little one piece. Everybody fights over which ones of those you get. So 2 chicken wings. Let's go back to the other side. Get that open so I could see the joint. And get right through it. Left it here on that part. And then take off the little riblet. I was thinking about that. Take off the wingtip, and then pop this joint and cut straight through 2 pieces of chicken wings. Okay. Now you could roast, these are some big, these are big chicken breasts. You could roast these, just the chicken breasts like this, oven roast them if you wanted to do just that. I want to show how to get this off the bone next. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that with this knife. So here's the breastbone, and you kind of scrape along the bone to get it off the chicken, and that's going to go in the stock pot. And then you have these like ribs that you want to get underneath. I still have an arm joint in here. So yeah, it's like you feel around and you get in there, and you're going to separate these ribs from this chicken breast. Okay, that's going in the stock pot. So now you have a boneless, there's no bones in here, nothing, check, make sure the wishbone is in there, a boneless breast of chicken. And here's back to what I've been doing all week, is cutting, trimming. They leave this part here for you because they want to sell you that. So I trim that off. Then inside here, this little piece that's hanging on here, this is the chicken tender. This is the part, the tenderloin of the chicken. It's just the intercostal muscle of the chicken. And then here's your boneless breast of chicken, which all week long I've been butterflying and pounding to show you how to go with that. And skinless, this is boneless skinless, so I'm removing the skin. And the skin just kind of pulls off and separates. And then go to the back. We're going to get this rib cage off. I kind of like pull and press and peel to remove this. And make sure you get all of them. That's the wishbone right there that I split. So you want to make sure you get that out of there. Okay, this is the half of the wishbone. The other half must have been on the breastbone that I threw in there, because you don't want anybody getting that in there. So then remove the tenderloin. Okay, two tenderloins. And then trim up your fat and your cartilage to get that
tenderloin
nice.
is what they make chicken fingers out of, right?
I mean, essentially, yes, but it's not really what they make them out of. They sell them now like tenderloins. They just cut chicken in strips to make you cut chicken in strips, or actually like process it up and like extrude it into strips. It depends upon what chicken fingers you're getting, you know, what quality the company has. I just want to go back to mention one thing about the tenderloin, though. If you are going to eat these, it has this piece of, what do you call that? Not cartilage, sinew. Oh my God, I can't think of what it is. Sorry, old. You want to get this out by holding it down and stripping along. It's going to pull this tendon out, this little connective tissue, which isn't, if you've eaten chicken tenders before, you know that little part there is very hard. It's very sinewy. It's not something that you want to eat. So that goes into that pot as well. All right, this is where I have got to wash my hands, because I can't go further without washing my hands.
All right, take a break.
And bleaching my cutting board.
And I'm going to take you into the other room here. Heather's going to get mad at me. This is production studio. She's making masks. I think these are really cool. Avocado masks. Chicken and cow masks. And one of our customers, Valerie Seelert, she donated a whole bag of fabric. So we've been Heather's been making masks, and I've been giving them away. So if anybody's really in need of a mask, let me know. Let her know. And back to the kitchen.
Yeah, we're good. I just really want to aggressively wash my hands. And I mean, it's funny that that's what this whole virus thing is about. It's about washing your hands. But as a chef, my whole life, it's been about not cross-contaminating food and surface areas. And when I get done here today, this is all going to get bleached down. My knife's going to get bleached down. My stuff's going to get cleaned up. But I'm not now going with raw chicken on my hands and touching my stove and touching my crock pot and touching the utensils, because that is how you get salmonella, you know, cross-contaminated throughout your house. So it's something that, just as a professional chef, you're always thinking about hand washing and cross-contamination. And it's just something that, as people, we really need to think about this if we're going to attack this for coronavirus. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just sear off the legs, the legs and the thighs. So it's going to be, if I had a lot of skin side down, and just a little bit of oil in this pan. I'm going to be putting this, well, that one almost flew. I'm going to be putting this in a crock pot for tonight, but I don't like to just put raw food into my crock pot. I feel like I get more flavor depth profile if I brown it a little bit first. So that's going to go into this hot oil and sear off in here. Then what I do is I set my crock pot up, and it just has some jalapeno peppers, onions, and a little bit of that Thai basil and some garlic in here. And after I brown the chicken, I'm going to transfer it over to here. And in this bowl, remember earlier in the videos we made the Thai peanut sauce. We made our own teriyaki, and I made this hot chili paste. So I'm going to mix those things together. Now I kind of want to do a like pad Thai type of flavor profile here, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of peanut in that because I only used a little bit of almond butter when I made that the other day, although that was really good on the grill. That yogurt peanut butter sauce made that really moist on the grill. So I had another jar of peanut butter because my son likes to eat peanut butter. So I just cleaned it out with a little bit of water to get this going here. And this is going to go over our chicken. I'm going to make like a pot, spicy Thai peanut chicken in the crock pot for dinner tonight. So get these guys browned. Ideally, I would brown these a little bit more, but I'm pushing this along for the video's sake. So flip both sides, get it nice and browned all around, and then transfer it over to your crock pot. I'm just going to go ahead and do that because I'm not really for it. Just put it right on the bed of onions that you have here. I'm going to dump this oil that's in here because I don't want my crock pot to be greasy. So I'm going to dump this in here, but ideally if you went longer you'd have all this brown liquid browning on the bottom. So I'm going to add some of this chicken stock, which I talked about how we always have chicken stock, to just clean off the bottom of that pan. It was a no-stick pan, so it didn't really stick a lot. And then I'm going to add that right over here to the crock pot, because why not? That's more flavor. And then I'm going to take this mixture and I'm going to pour it right on top. Now this is going to go on low for 6 to 8 hours, but I'm going to do it on high for 4 hours because that's going to be about dinner time for everybody. And this is going to be really great tonight because I have class, so dinner will be ready when I am done with that. So I've used up 2 or 3 ingredients that we had around the house to make this next meal. You know, and I'm going to keep going with my stock on that. So what do I have for you next is Caesar salad dressing. Now this is funny because I went back through the recipes of Rainbow Gardens and I found both of these recipes. They don't match whatsoever. There's nothing in them that matches. I know who copied this over and I know who wrote this out. This guy who wrote this recipe out made Caesar salad probably more than anybody in our restaurant over the course of 25 years. This guy was the best salad guy in the city of Milford. I'm not going to give you his name. I'm going to follow mostly this recipe, but I cut it down from this one. What's really funny is that one of them lists cider vinegar and one of them lists mustard. So I don't have cider vinegar, so I'm going to go with the mustard on this one. But now, traditionally, Caesar salad, as you know, is made at tableside in a bowl. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but let me just put together my version of this in the Cuisinart. So it's 1 whole egg goes in there.
Hey, what about people saying about pasteurized eggs versus, and they don't want raw eggs sitting in, they don't want to eat raw eggs?
Don't eat Caesar salad. Don't eat Caesar salad, or use mayonnaise. Use a tablespoon of mayonnaise if you really want to eat Caesar salad for that. But I'm going to show you how easy this is, and if you ever go and open another bottle of Caesar salad, shame on you, because this is the easiest thing to make and it will hold up in your refrigerator. It has to be refrigerated. It will hold up in your refrigerator for a week. And if you have a Cuisinart or a food processor, it's so easy to make this. So the 1 egg, and I'm going to give you over on our YouTube channel, John Fetto, I'm going to give you the amounts that I tricked out for this. So I'm going to use about 1.5 teaspoons of capers. I'm still working off this huge jar of capers. I just put it into an olive jar to make it smaller in my refrigerator. I'm going to do about a tablespoon of Worcestershire. Everybody makes fun of how to say this sauce name. I'm going to do the juice of 1.5 lemons right in here. This one I'm just going to do with strength. I'm not going to do my cute little trick. I picked the seeds out of it before. So 1.5 lemons, 3 cloves of garlic. Go right into that. And this is anchovies. I'm going to use 2 anchovy fillets in this. And then I'm going to have to find something else to do with these anchovies because we are not a big anchovy family here. Oh, look, these anchovies had capers in them. And I'm even going to let the oil that the anchovies are in, 3 anchovies. I'm going to let the oil go into that too. I might make a pasta dish from Ciro and Sal's, which is a restaurant I worked at out in Provincetown, very famous restaurant. Actually, Anthony Bourdain did his Culinary Institute of America externship out there, and he writes about it in his first book, Kitchen Confidential. And for those of you who don't know me, my 2 idols, Julia Child and Anthony Bourdain. So smash them together and you get what I'm passionate about. A little bit of salt and pepper in here, and about 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese goes in our recipe. That's not necessarily how it's traditionally made. So we're going to blend that up, and then I'm just going to scrape the sides down once quick, because you lose half of it up here. Now this is an emulsion, just like, what did we make the other day that was an emulsion? Mayonnaise? No. Hollandaise, right, hollandaise. So this is an emulsion, but this is a cold emulsion. Now I have this beautiful extra virgin olive oil, and I'm drizzling it through the top of this mixture. And you're gonna hear it thicken. We used to make ours really thick in the restaurant and then thin it out in batches for daily use. But I don't think I'm going to take it that far. I think I'm going to stop right there for regular people. Now, we would make ours a lot thicker than this in the restaurant. And that's just by adding more oil. Now, say you did this and you put too much oil in and it broke. Now, broke means that it's all separated and it's not like a nice flowy dressing like this. What you do is you take this out, put it in a bowl, clean this all out, start over, put like 1 or 2 more eggs in here, or mayonnaise, whatever you want to use, and add this mixture back to it to keep it from breaking. It's a professional term, breaking your sauce, breaking your salad dressing. But anyway, you saw how easy that was. There's absolutely no reason to buy Caesar salad dressing in a 5-gallon jar or in a bottle. So anybody who's out there doing it, stop it, because I'm going to give you this recipe. Now this would get tossed with Caesar greens, which we have some for tonight, and croutons, which you're going to make out of any of that bread that we've been making all week. By using that oil that we did yesterday, that seasoned oil, you would cut the bread cubes up really small, pour that seasoned oil over it, and put it in the oven until it's crispy. Now, what I want to talk about next is my Thursday thought, and my Thursday thought for you is, who actually invented Caesar salad? Now, this is something that in my 35 years, I never pondered that. So I took to my computer and I did a little bit of research, and I'm going to show you the link to kitchenproject.com. And there was also another article on the history of food, which sometimes it's really interesting to look back at everyday foods that we're so accustomed to and find out what the actual history of it is. Believe it or not, I don't believe it's named after Julius Caesar of Rome. The credit that the articles that I had were given to this man named Caesar Cardini in 1924, who emigrated here after World War I with his brother to San Diego, California, but they operated a restaurant out of Tijuana, Mexico, to get around American Prohibition. So they lived in America, but they operated their restaurant out of Mexico, which is kind of like backwards thinking to today. But he claims to have had some people come into his restaurant, and he whipped up this salad using the only ingredients that he had, which were some version of what you probably see here. He did it tableside to make it a little bit more interesting for the clientele, and he named it after himself, Caesar Cardini Caesar salad. Now, there's another person who in 1903 claims, a chef in Chicago, he claims he made the salad, and he named it after Julius Caesar, who he said was the greatest emperor of Rome. The brothers of Caesar Cardini down in Tijuana argue that they made the salad one day for some airmen from the Rockwell Field base out in California, and they call it the aviator salad. So while you're researching Caesar salad, check out aviator salad. But my girl, Julia Child, she says in her book, she says she had the salad at Caesar's restaurant as a girl down in Tijuana. Her parents ordered it, and all she can remember is this guy coming to the table with this coddled egg and breaking the eggs over the raw salad greens. And she was like, there's no way I'm eating that as a kid. But of course, she went on to be one of the greatest chefs of all time, female chefs of all time, and her legacy certainly holds up. So that's just some thoughts I have for you on Thursday on Caesar salad, and maybe go check some of that out and learn something about a food that is so common on every menu throughout our country now. And that's all I have for you. And John has...
All right. I'm going outside the box today. This is my friend, my fellow former employee, my friend for life, Carlos Gonzalez. He has a food truck. It's in Bridgeport. It's very, very close to the motor vehicles, the DMV in Bridgeport, Boston Ave. He's right over by Laundry World, 93 Boston Ave. He bought the truck down in Maryland. He refurbished it over the winter, and he's selling on the corner of Boston Ave and Laundry World.
What's the name of it?
More Than Tacos, it's called. It's a little white food truck. He's starting to paint it. Show you some of the things he does. It's amazing.
I mean, it's Instagram.
Yeah, he has an Instagram, Carlos Gonzalez, Carlos with a K. It's authentic. Nothing is, and this is not out of a can. He makes everything from scratch. It's one of the best kept secrets.
Carlos has been honing his craft since he was 13 years old.
Yeah, he's been with us since 13. He's
amazing chef. He's got a great flavor palette. Everything he does is spot on, by the rules. He does not cut corners. Churros, those are churros. If you're down by BMW, it's down by BMW.
Yeah,
down
diagonally
there.
across from the BMW
Bridgeport,
dealer.
check this out. You will not be disappointed with the food that Carlos is turning out on his truck. Wow, that looks good. What is that?
I don't know. But he even has food for gringos. He's got cheeseburgers and hot dogs. So you can.
Fingers.
You want to get out of the house. You're driving the car. That's safe. You can't transmit any diseases when you're driving in your car all by yourself.
And we're bringing him a mask.
And we're actually probably heading down there a little while, bringing one of those avocado masks. So. More Than Tacos.
All right, tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm doing tomorrow. I have some ideas, so you're just going to have to tune in and find out what we're doing. I also want to thank my friend Miss Kim down here for bringing me that bottle of wine. Not necessary. And I want to thank my friend Valerie for dropping off all that fabric so I can keep making masks for my friends, because we're not supposed to be using professional masks. The medical people need the professional ones. We're just supposed to be covering our faces so we're not spitting on each other when we go out into public places. So that's all I have for you until we eat again. Thank you.